So, hello everyone, this is OK here. We see Oppa has taken a 2-love lead against Jasugi. If he blocked with anything other than the queen, he could take on g6, and if he blocked the queen, he could take the queen. So he wants to push d5 and blow open the center. Protecting the mates. No immediate threat, I can see. So 4 pieces shielding that king. He wants to get on f6, but f6 is guarded. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's Oppa well enough protected, or it's just might be time. Pawn takes, bishop takes. The problem is time as well. Ah, that's also good. That's a nice checkmate. So 2 games to 1. We're looking from Oppa's perspective, trying to give some commentary of a training match between opperwezen and the current Crazyhouse World Champion and 12-teen, who is now under the username Jasugi99. Oh, that's painful. So 12-teen with the big advantage this game with the queen in hand, but can he convert it? Because there are a lot of pieces to work through, but he's a lot of material up. It's just the problem is it's bullet. So he's slightly rushes it by taking takes, and the knight is going to land on f3 is the problem. This is going to be painful if he ever had a rook. And even if he doesn't, this is powerful. So it's a painful situation for white. Even though white's got all the pieces, so maybe white's winning, but it's just tough. Rook takes knight? No. So if rook takes knight, you have 2 pawns on. Okay, so Oppa's just desperate just to get some mating attack going with all his pieces. Oh, he's on the back rank. This is all going to get ugly very quickly. Yeah. King, where does it go? He's just throwing spite checks now. But it's only 6 seconds against 3 seconds. Anything could happen, but that's double check and it's mate. Wow. Double checkmate. 3 games to 1. So hopefully, yes, you can see the stream on Lichess. Hopefully the format is all good. If you can let me know in the chat that everything's working nicely. So we're just going to this is going to be a short half-an-hour stream as these two take on each other. So interestingly, I think wasting the pawn is not necessary. I mean, maybe at h6, but just went straight for it. Because then the threat would have been bishop takes pawn. Okay, maybe this is fine. Oh. And the pawns are going to mate now. So actually he's going to try and run here, so kind of subtle move just to cut him off. But hang on a second. What? Does black not have mate here? Ah, the queen covers h3. No. What? No, I can't believe this. I am sure there must have been a mate here. For white, knight f3 takes... So apparently, no, well, yeah, nothing clear. Okay, so no clear mate. Because the queen is covering h3, and that's all that matters. Knight at h3 is an interesting idea. Queen takes knight, and pawn at g4. I mean, crazy, and then just run back. But okay, crazy stuff. Anyway, back to the current game. So it shows the importance of guarding h3. Opper had the house, but h3 was guarded. Nothing he could do. So queen takes rook probably coming, and rook at g1 potentially. No, this first, then oh. So he's trying to get in on the back rank. King can still run. It's not clear. He's got him on the back rank. King comes up. Okay, it's checkmate. So it takes it to 3 games all. And we have an e4, e5. We're expecting this move. Strong. Takes queen. So I guess Opper is testing, does 12-team know his theory? I think the answer is yes. 12-team knows more than he lets on. "38 seconds apiece." So this square is uncovered. It's the key, and that's why it's all going to be over. Oh, there was a knight guarding g7, but still. What's the threat? The threat is... The threat was knight takes bishop, knight here, checkmate. Yeah. Knight takes bishop still works here. Pawn takes, rook takes, queen takes this one. Okay. Ah, this is going to be low on time. It's not mate. Oof. It's not mate, but it is a flag. Okay, so we see a Scandinavian from Jasugi, as we saw in game 2 against the finisher earlier today, which we also streamed. This is, however, just a training match. These two will also face off, potentially, in an exhibition match. Either Opperwezen or Jan Lee will face off against Jasugi99 in an exhibition match with something like $200 prize money. He leaves g2 a little sensitive. Okay, Opper's actually up on time at the end of all that. But still, f3 is a little sensitive because of this pawn on e5. Yeah, you can never do something like bishop takes knight, rook takes queen, bishop takes queen, because otherwise it's just simple smothered mate. Knight h6, queen g8, and smother. So Opper's basically found a weakness on g7, and sorry about that slight momentary disconnection. Okay, so this time Opper's going for the bishop e7 line. Obviously he didn't like what he got last time with bishop c5. And if we see it here, the sacrifice on h6, which is actually good for white, I think. So this black doesn't want to retreat and waste time, but by taking he's losing material. Queen, yeah, the bishop was reinforced by this bishop, so it's really quite. So white is all over black here. This is now forming. Is there anything more concrete? No, white's just going to stay solid. So I think, yeah, white's just trying to build a fortress around his king and go for the flag in a way. Oh, 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 oh. Danger. Have to block. What? What? Queen? No, mate in 1. Wasn't that mate in 1? Queen G in the final position? That was baffling. So if I just final position. He had a queen in hand. Queen at G1 was mate in 1, I believe. Okay, so on to the current game. Opper trailing 4-5 to Jasugi99. So welcome viewers, this is not a competitive match, but it's very competitive in terms of it's two of the best players in the world playing against each other. I mean, white would love a queen, but he's not getting one. Notice knight checks are covered. We always need to check where can my king be checked. Rook check, block, takes, pawn check, for example, stuff like this. So white is actually in quite an uncomfortable. Oh, so knight mates. That's the signal that knight mates. He's trying to get the king here, so he takes the queen with check, and of course black's not having it. So how does knight mate? I don't see it. Or maybe it's just distracting this knight. Yes, I'm not quite seeing the knight mate. Well, we might see it now. Ah, okay, it's a back rank idea. So just to recap that, it's knight here and a second knight here. That was the idea. So that's what Opper was going for the whole time. The whole time he was going for that. He wins the queen now. So it's checkmate. Okay. So it's the two knight at g3, knight h2, and then get in on the back rank. So that was the secret of that game for 12-teen, who now takes a 6-4 lead. with about 22 minutes to go in this match, in this training game. Oh, f5. I mean, that's brave, I have to say, because white could always just take and drop on g6. I mean, try and get in on g6 anyway. And you're creating weaknesses on e6, f7. So, okay, but very good protection of those weaknesses with the bishops. So that's why you notice that 12 Union's actually switched his attack. Because all those bishops on light squares, he's actually switched his attack to the dark squares. And now he's back to the light squares again. So obviously you don't want to take, because otherwise the pawns will advance up the board, closer and closer to your king. Oops, oops. That's you don't want to see that happening. If you're white, just dropping a piece accidentally. So, and that's going to be really hard to come back from. And white resigned. Okay, the attacking the queen provokes the trade. And often in these face-offs you don't want to trade because then the one who trades, the other one gets to develop. But it was provoked because of the threat of this, as well as the threat of taking the queen. Double threat. So he takes, he protects. We just go back a second. He takes, protects, black castles, and the battle shifts to the G file. But the E file still, black is interested in the E file. Oh, so it looks like queen takes queen is going to be forced. If takes pawn here and bishop takes pawn was probably the idea. I didn't see something forcing. But now the threat is simply rook takes pawn and queen at g7 checkmate. So that's the threat. He covers g7. White would still need a knight to really, I suppose. Takes. I think he's just trying to protect his king, but the problem is the queen can never leave this file or there are going to be discoveries. So it's a very uncomfortable position for white. He's probably thinking of castling queenside, but this is really uncomfortable. This is defended by the bishop, amazingly. So any heavy. Queen does not mate just yet. He's trying to distract the queen, the bishop for here, but also he's trying to flag. Very nice. So how's everyone doing? Enjoying the games? So kind of creative from Opper with bishop f8 instead of bishop f6. Well, the king has found a home. But this square is sensitive. So we're going to watch this game. That's going to be white's entry. Oh, I hadn't seen this one as well. That's awkward. Painful. King has to decide where to go. It doesn't really belong on a dark square because of this entry. Okay, so this move, what's the idea? Queen here. So the idea is becoming clear slowly. This opening of this file. Finally. And so I was completely wrong about h6. I thought h6 would always be crucial to this game. Turns out that was quite a beautiful game, but it was all about opening up that central file. That was quite a... So hi there, Ominous. Who do you think has the best chances against 12-teen in Bullet? Good question. I think Opper. Definitely. And the match here is 5-8 between Opper and 12-teen. JSVC predicting Black will resign, and Katask predicting that Black will mate. So they're both predicting that Black will do something. Just opposite predictions. Okay, so I feel this is a very comfortable position for Opper. He's got the kind of thing he wants. Sort of, ooh, slight weakness there, immediately covers it. Beautiful. Slight weakness there, but look at this sort of quadruple diagonals. I mean, and a time advantage. So this is, ooh, it's going to create a tiny weakness here, but then the queen would fall, so you can just put a pawn back there if you really want. Or he puts a bishop there. I think the bishop belongs somewhere more worthwhile in a more attacking position, but maybe pawns could attack it. So yeah, g3 is only a tiny weakness, but actually it's well defended. Uh-oh, this is going to be all over surely. Knight here, rook here. Oh, even better, sorry. Queen to seal him up. No. Okay. I was thinking rook here, queen here sort of ideas, but... Okay, so Opper coming back into it. 6 games to 8. I want to sing Jan is a little out of practice. Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, what's that about? Because he doesn't have the fork. He probably thought he did, so that's why he has a sort of delay. Oops. He's still got cool stuff, like knight takes, queen takes, bishop here, and knight here. So, oh, he doesn't want to go for that. Okay. Okay, knight takes f6, pawn at g7. Knight takes f6 would be bad to lose, so probably. Queen d2, very nice move, says Katask. So what actually happened there? Queen d2 because you've got attacking ideas, and also you're covering e1. Takes. Oh, you let the knight in, and so you're not going to last long. So Opper goes down in that one, 9 games to 6. And he's now going for b3 stuff. b3 without knight f3. Oh. Sacks the rook for a knight and gets onto an open H file. So black has a queen, but not that much else. Having said that, this is trouble. This is real trouble. Like if you just did this, queen here is checkmate. I mean, how do you defend? That's the problem. Just get out of the way. Pawn takes pawn. How do you defend? Rook here, queen here is mate. Tough. Throws a check. Yeah. You have to defend this square, but then just... Maybe a move like this would temporarily defend. Just queen here. Pawn here. Okay. So I think playing the unconventional b3 didn't work out well. Bishop f8. Okay, we're going to see this again. And this was actually quite uncomfortable for black. So he stops the knight coming into d5. He also helps protect his own d5 so he can get out his bishop. When do you want d6? I'm not sure. I think maybe also it means he gets a pawn at some stage for h3. He's only got one knight. This is no good. Yep, this is trouble. It's going south. This game. Opper's in the tank. He throws a check. Is there any way of tricking his way out of this? Maybe queen here. Well, just defends and he just takes everything. And Opper resigns. So that's a 3-game streak, and he's back to d4, d5, which is more solid. Stopping bishop going here. Actually, the bishop can't go here either, so this is quite nice. So this is quite nice for white. He does this very interesting sack. So f6, remember, is going to be the key for white. But it's hard because it's defended 3 times. And attacked only twice. Okay, that's a good move. Taking. He's trying to undermine the defender, so he can take it. Oh, very nice. So it takes. It's just trying to play on this d file. Takes is what he's hoping for. And Tilting's not getting tricked, he's taking with the queen, so if bishop takes, just queen takes. So bishop steps back. Well, you could take there and take the free pawn, I mean. Okay, f6, suddenly he's in. Takes. Bishop if he had one, no he doesn't have one, so he has to go with the knight. Ooh, and uncomfortable. Ooh, uncomfortable. What do we do? We don't have diagonals to attack with. Takes. So he loses a rook, and the problem is another pawn is landing here unless he does something about it. Ooh. So 8 seconds against 10 seconds. It's not a comfortable position. He has a lot of material in hand. But what to do? Oh, this is pretty. He can make something of it. He'd love to be able to take the queen with check, but I think he might have enough here. Wow! He gets him. Great victory. So 7 games to 11. And probably only about 8 minutes left of this match. So enjoy it while you can, guys. It's been 30 minutes so far, probably only about 10 minutes maximum to go. Okay, so he's hitting the bishop. Any other ideas? Nothing. Ooh, nope, it's double defended, nothing there. So, oh, he's going for g2. Yeah, you can just take it. This is a slight worry, but I think white still has to defend. So what's the threat? Oh, that's painful. Oh, nice defense with the queen, but picks up the queen. I'd say this is far from over though. Interesting. White stays active. He doesn't. I was thinking maybe pawn at f3, but no, he stays active. He goes knight f3. I'm worried about light squares though in this position. And remember, black is full of diagonals. But okay. This is becoming sensitive. But maybe it doesn't matter. It's checkmate. Oof. 8 to 11. So opper coming back. Okay, I think he's got e6 ideas on the cards. So the threat is either takes, and then drop, or if you take him, you take here. So, oh, he wants a pawn. He wants a pawn for e6, g6. And that's, you can't really take, because that's quite uncomfortable. You're going to take g7 next. So bishop here. This is very pretty. You're threatening to take this pawn. So notice, if this, then push and fork. So push and fork anyway. Why couldn't he take it? Because there must be a mate with the queen. Takes, takes. Queen takes bishop, king takes. Yeah, I didn't see it, but maybe something like queen at d7. That game. So just to quickly recap this game again, where we got a bishop d7. Ooh, bishop d7. Well, we're not going down to bishop f8 stuff, which really wasn't working. So just to recap again. This. So white's building a big pawn chain into black's kingside. He's got a pawn and a rook in hand, so that's dangerous because that's the weapons you need to get in on the back rank, a pawn and a rook. But opper's very careful, defending this square twice. This is just going for the knight, and that defends as well, so that seemed to drop a piece. At e2, okay, takes. Oh, this looks slightly dangerous. But he has to be careful of this. Rook at h8, king takes, knight takes bishop. Ouch. It's been, the opportunity's missed. But bishop takes, ah. The king is exposed, it's all over. Okay, sorry, the first few moves just raced by before they even registered. They know they've got little time left, only about 3 minutes left, so this could be last game or two. G2, rook G1. Could just take. What's the threat? At G2 again? Or queen takes? Yeah. Could also just do this. That's a difficult move to do though. Ooh, trading, giving more material. Okay. Brave. So he basically did it because he said, I want a knight to defend with. So that's quite a brave thing to do. Recognizing that the knight was the piece he needed to defend this issue. Because it both attacks his queen and defends these two squares. Okay, so queen is under attack. Defends. could go rook takes pawn, but oops. That's going to be bad for black. Queen takes rook. Queen here, rook here, knight. Yeah, it's going to be all over. With some sort of knight check. And he steps up. Okay, so black under heavy bombardment, 10-12 down. Score is reasonable. But some big onslaughts that opper has had to endure. This looks uncomfortable. This looks really uncomfortable. Like, how do you defend just knight g5 type ideas? Ouch. Takes pawn, takes pawn. Threatening queen takes queen. What? Oh, it's check. Oh wow, it's check and then take the queen and then it wasn't mate. Brilliant. Wow, what a turnaround from opper. So he's now got a square for his king, but the problem is how to defend this square here. Still hard. Probably have to run. Run and push d6. Oh, that's a bad miss. That's a bad miss. Blocks off the escape route of the king. Checkmate. And we're now into game 24. 10-13 down. And if I was predicting, I'd say this is probably going to be the last game. But I don't know. Just a prediction. So takes, and at g5. Can't go directly at h6 because g2 is weak. Just taking it slow. Protecting the knight. Getting the knight out. Okay. Using the rook to defend g2. And where's that knight going? Not sacking, just rerouting itself to a better. Knight takes pawn, tempting, and pawn here. Yeah, indeed. What happened there? He took the knight. Okay. Takes. Knight. Oh, he doesn't have a knight. Okay. Bishop. No, doesn't have a bishop. Doesn't have enough control of this square. Ah, sacks the rook for the piece. Could just. Yeah, that seems. This is good only if you've got mate, basically. But maybe this was too dangerous also, because of queen. Was there queen takes d1 or something? Yeah, king here, queen takes here, pawn here. It looked uncomfortable either way. But this is going to be trouble. You have to defend the mate here, and time is running low as well. Okay, so we play on. This is great. So it's a Scandinavian. So now opper's playing the Scandinavian. Against bishop e2, I think the usual move is queen b6, hitting g2, which is no longer defended by the bishop. And just because I missed the last few moves, let me just wind back. d4, d5 is a really thematic idea in these structures. So d4 to get your bishop open, d5 claiming space, and I even on e6 potentially sometimes. Ouch, this is under attack. It's not. Bishop will return here, but oh, that's a nice little arc by the queen. It had a mission. And suddenly black is doing fine. This is amazing from offer, but he's got 5 seconds against 8 seconds, so he's going to have to turn the skates on. Bishop protected by the queen. Knight. He finds the mate. Bishop cuts off the king. In pressure. 0.3 seconds on the clock. He finds the mate. And that tilts 12-team just the tiniest bit. You can tell because he's playing the Sicilian. So earlier in the match, you can see that Opper was getting slightly tilted, playing b3 in frustration. This game, it's Opper coming back. Okay, so that knight can't really be taken. Takes queen. Yeah. So he's throwing in checks, exhausting black's attacking potential, and yeah, this is a little bit of a crush from Opper. Didn't pay as much attention as I was a bit distracted by the chat. We were talking about the Crazyhouse League game in which 12-team just beat the finisher. This seems good for white. Seems a very difficult position to play with these weaknesses, both on g7 and e7. And in that game last time, I thought that was going to be the problem, but we saw 12-team just play one of the most beautiful games with rook and queen on the d file. Just broke through on the d file. It's going for a different approach this game. And the beginning is f6, of course, so this is a threat. Ah, he gets in e5 first. He must be pleased with that. He takes bishop. Got to take the bishop, surely. Apparently not. Well, this is just finished now, because oh, I was afraid of pawn takes bishop, pawn here, bishop takes pawn, pawn takes check, king takes, and bishop takes queen. But none of that happened. Opper found some kind of counter on 12-team's king, which I'd have thought he could have just dodged, but apparently not. And time is short, and there are too many weaknesses. 12-15. So 12-team leads 15 games to 12. Well, he's getting his own back with this. Knight e6 was a problem. If queen takes, what was the issue? Light squares, I mean, just f7, brilliant move, just reinforcing those light squares. Things are not. Where's that knight going? It's bishop's hitting here as well, so of course knight comes back to defend. Eek. Bishop can always take. Throwing in this threat as well. Queen will probably come back, I guess, unless he has something aggressive to do. Oh, the knight was also hitting this, so check, check. probably this. Okay, he's offering a free rook. Ooh. It's just time. 12 team is playing this incredibly quickly. 12 team trying to get safe. He can do. Bishop defends. It's just time. 6 seconds against 15 seconds. It's doing okay actually. Just needs hitting the queen. Try to take it with check. Ooh, there are ideas here. Knight takes pawn is checkmate. What? No, it's not. Bishop was covering. Bishop was covering a6. Yeah. Okay. Ah, we see this line where the bishop. I'm going to play through this more slowly. So we have the 4 knights. But the bishop having come out to f5 then comes back to e7 after he's castled. And actually black's doing okay. He was getting into trouble with the immediate bishop e7, so quite interesting. And it might seem counterintuitive, but there are reasons why you might want to put the bishop on e7 later. Okay, white's trying to trade. Oh, did he have to give a queen? Not quite sure about that one. Knight takes rook, potentially. But white wants pawns. So imagine, for example, a knight here, and a pawn here, and a rook here would be checkmate. And white also wants pawns for defense. Oh, we're going to see something pretty here. Yeah, very pretty, mate. Oh, that's not the one, but yeah. Okay, we're back to d4, d5. But with an h4 idea in the London system. Where's the pawn going to go next? h5. So bishop e2 supports its advance. So I'd say the one thing to watch for if h4, h5 is notice that g3 isn't so well guarded. But of course what you want is a pawn on h6. That's the whole idea. Knights. So queen can't go here because of knight here check. Which means it's actually quite uncomfortable. If he backs off. Yeah, so he does this, and then this is, if the king goes back, it's a smothered mate. If the king comes out, okay, so diagonals are going to come and work. We've seen this in several games. You just use the diagonals to work into the position. He's eyeing taking on h7 as well. Not rook takes, okay. Ooh, for a moment. hard to evaluate. Downtime. The problem. So the problem with queen takes knight was presumably a bishop drop, pinning. So yeah, opper's on the ropes a little bit. But white's not got that many pieces, but yeah, I think he has enough. Like king here, rook here. I mean, this is just very uncomfortable. Oh. What happened there? He won the queen, but nothing. No follow-up. Okay. Okay, so he's going again for this h4, h5. He had some success with it last game as white. And yeah, we got a treat here because this is going on longer than it was planned. Jasugi leads 17 games to 14, so it's also quite tight. e6 is slightly sensitive, but that the knight now covers it. Black placed a knight covering it. Whoa, 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 whoa. How did that queen suddenly... Oh, I see. The knight was pinned, and he gave away the queen. And the mate is covered. He's trying to... This is a very subtle move. If this queen here is checkmate. So pawn takes knight is an annoying threat. Just pawn takes knight. But then bishop takes pawn. So maybe he should have taken the bishop back after all. King takes pawn. And now what? Ooh, queen here. Yeah, and then knight here, and then queen here, checkmate. Oof, painful. So 12-team just walked into mate there. And it's 17 games to 15 that he leads. And we see another quite classical opening in a way. Some form of French defense, but with knight f6 played before e6. And again, opper's going for the flank push with a5. So it does stop the at h6 kind of ideas, but it does weaken g6. That's just something to be a little wary of. He's just trying to open up this file. Okay, takes. Nice play. He wants a bishop. He's not getting it though. h5, g5. Now in this position, black should castle queenside. Absolutely. This is a perfect example of where to castle queenside. Let's see if he does. If he doesn't castle soon, the pawn will be landing. It's actually quite well defended for now, so just something to be worried about. Yeah, can't castle now. So it doesn't go for the exchange, the rook instead just goes for the pin. Rook takes knight. It was interesting with knight here as a follow-up, but no. Nothing. Maybe there's nothing there. Queen is a bit stuck behind this wall of pawns, but it's a good, important defender of the king. And it's just a flagging battle now. 10 seconds, 11 seconds. Can opper do stuff with the material? He just picks up the queen. The knight is a bit of a defender, and maybe he can do something. Pawn and bishop. Can't do queen takes bishop. Isn't it brilliant? Knight defends. He's decided to go for a runner, but this is going to be mate. Oh, he doesn't have a queen. Takes. Oh, he doesn't want to take. Okay, maybe he's got something now. He's got a flag, but he also had mate. Just simply queen g3, knight f2. Okay, exciting game. Opper comes up to 16 against 17. He's almost drawn level. Can't quit now. And we are past. And opper's won a pawn. Okay, so opper's actually getting into this now. quite nicely. Defends the knight and pawn drop here is the threat. Okay, he does. This is nice. Knight takes queen, being the idea. Drop another pawn. Oh. He missed an opportunity for knight here. Check, queen takes this, picking up the queen for a piece. But okay. Still very good for white. And Jasugi resigns. 17 all after 34 games. Hi there, Jamalo. Opper making a great comeback here. Indeed he is. Oh, hang on a second. I did not see that one coming. Knight takes pawn, bishop takes knight, takes... Yeah, I haven't seen... Did not see that coming. Knight takes pawn, bishop takes knight, takes here. It just feels like there's something suspicious about this. Takes bishop here, takes here, castles queenside, and again I feel like there should be something. Oh, whoa, hang on. So here, there was like knight here check, picking up the queen, but oh no, only if you take the knight first. Okay, so that's why it didn't exist. Okay, back to current play. He just needs a knight, and he does pick up the queen. But queen c2 is covered, so he's going for like queen b1 type stuff. Just defend, but then you'd lose a rook. So I think he's thinking if I just go rook takes, is there anything? Okay, this is what? That's check. No, it's not. Bishop pinned. Okay, so using the pin. He wants here, but it's too well covered. Rook takes queen. Rook takes queen. Oh, rook here would be mate. He's trying to deflect the queen. White's desperate. How to avoid rook b1 mate? Time is running out. How to do it? Can't find a way. Because if he just blocks, then at d2 if he blocks on c2, at d2 was mate, I think. So Opper takes the lead with a 4-game streak. We've seen this line, queen sack on the useless knight. You have a useless knight on the rim, and you say, it's worth about the same as my queen. But the idea is you're opening up the opponent king. These pawns are not supporting each other well, so you're not just going to get a knight. You're going to get some pawns and hopefully then some good attack. Pawns means you can start an attack. So we haven't quite seen that borne out just yet, but they'll start falling soon enough. Okay, there's the first pawn. And there's the bishop here. He could take here or take here. Probably he's going to... I was surprised. I thought he'd take here, because the knight's not dangerous. But okay. Yeah. So after he did take the knight, we got a little bit of initiative going, actually. Ouch. So if queen takes g6. So he said he takes the knight to get safe. Again, he just sacks the rook to get safe, because otherwise d7 is uncomfortable. I think white's got enough here to mate. But can he find the mate? Discover check. Castles. Like, doesn't have that much. Rook takes bishop, and if you take, you have bishop here, so it's just uncomfortable. Just goes for material. Goes for the queen. Make your life. Oh my goodness. This is a flagging battle. 0 seconds. Oh my goodness, he gets flagged. And of course he had mate in 1 with queen at a3. So with the dirty flag, Jasugi gets 18 all. And yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, check out Jan Crazyhouse on Twitch and check out clips from the last 7 days or 30 days. And you'll see a clip with 3,500 views and growing. of Jan Lee when his baby starts crying and he has less than 2 seconds on the clock and he's nowhere near mate, and yet he somehow pulls a mate out of nowhere with lots of pre-moves and avoiding checks. This is uncomfortable because of this sort of stuff. And another pawn. He needs another pawn. Ooh. Check there, but then queen here is checkmate is the problem. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Do you notice how... Oh, bishop takes pawn. Pawn. Or queen first. No. Did he miss something? Queen. Bishop. Then he just runs here. Queen. Queen takes pawn check, yes. He takes the bishop. Takes the bishop. Yeah, he blocks him off. Oh, but he can run. And then the knight takes pawn. Queen takes bishop, yep. Queen takes pawn. He's got this one now. Bishop and takes. Yeah, or this and takes. Oh. So Opper takes the lead with that game again, 19 games to 18. Oof. Queen d3. Protects c3, but also gives the king some luft if it ever needs to run. But also means the queen is more exposed to attacks. Like this attack here is exactly an example. Takes, queen check. And stuff like maybe bishop here, check, block, and then queen e1. Black keen on that queen trade. White says, no thank you. And he's getting in on these squares. It's very uncomfortable. Oh, nice find. Check and take it off. So it's very disappointing when that happens. Just going to take it off. He's still saying, can I have a queen trade, please? He says, okay, I'll have a queen trade. It suits me now. But how to finish? So rook is giving temporary coverage. Do this. If you don't block with the queen, you can just defend. It's not that bad. Oh, he doesn't do it though. Okay, so 8 seconds against 7 seconds, and it's just a flagging race now. But I think I think this is mate in 2. Yeah. So Opper gets it, and it's 20 games to 18. Yeah, this is nasty, I think. So why couldn't he have gone... He could have gone at d2, takes, and rook b1. That would have been natural, but then this piece was hanging. So he wants this knight. Okay, so he wants the knight and then goes e2. So it's an exchange of that knight for that rook. Okay, but this means he's got back rank issues. But maybe takes. Oh, the knight. He's losing the queen with check, and that's going to be trouble. So hunting for the mate here. A knight and a queen. Surely that's going to mate, right? Knight, queen, and then queen takes bishop. Got now 2 queens hunting that king. And white resigns. So it's incredible. 7 of the last 8 games, Opper's won. So yeah, exactly. If you get a bishop, you start. Yeah, he's desperate for a pawn, exactly, because he wants to get in on h6, and that's why now 12 plays h6. Still, what did White play? Oh, he just once he played h6, he's targeting g5 now. h6 is out of reach, so he's targeting g5, and suddenly it's like, hang on a second. I'm the one under attack. So it takes. Oh, takes here. Takes. Okay, but these. He wants knight takes g5. Takes. It's sort of. This knight is kind of hanging. Okay, so it's very weird how all the pieces are hanging all over the board. Oh, this is incredible. Probably wants bishop. Okay, now f3 is a problem. f3 is a big problem. Knight takes pawn, defends f3. Yes. So another attack on f3, he blocks it. Attacks the bishop, and he flags. Okay, but that was quite a beautiful game. So if pawn takes, you drops it. Hang on. In this position, you'd normally do this if you had a pawn in hand. No pawn in hand, he still does this. I guess the idea would be you grab some pawn somewhere and then drop it on h2. A brave move without a pawn in hand. He's trying to win this pawn. This bishop defends here. You could take it, but the problem is rook is also eyeing g7, so he has to back off. But yeah, the problem with taking here, maybe knight here is a problem. But bishop takes rook. No. I was thinking bishop takes rook gives you more coverage for your king, but okay. And here pawn there was checkmate. Ooh, sneaky mate. The king got stuck. And the bishop wouldn't have made any difference, I don't think. So Jasugi with two games on the trot, and it's back to 2021. They could go on all night at the straight. I say that because I know we're at least half an hour past Opper's normal bedtime here. So we're in for a real treat. Takes. Oh, that piece was hanging at the end of it. The bishop was protecting the knight. So White lost the tempo but gained piece. Sorry, he gained back the piece. He gained a pawn at least anyway. Sorry, didn't gain a piece because he sacked a piece to win that piece back. This is nasty because a knight. Okay, this is quite furious. Crazyhouse. It's hard to follow. Of course you don't take that, do you? Apparently you do. because if you don't take it, knight g6, g3 is a problem. Okay, the speed is quite insane here. And black resigns. Well, this has been quite an insane series. I'd say this one here. You want to get in on f3, so putting queen on g2. Was there any defense with king h2, I wonder? That's what I was thinking about. Knight takes. And if king g2, a second knight on h4, and a pawn will mate. So king g3 makes it a little bit more tricky. Bishop at h3, and then king g2, and then knight h4. But the way it happened in the game was quite pretty. Went back, and then it was a simple queen invasion. There was one particularly beautiful game at the beginning of the series. That looks like the end of the series. 22-20 to Opper. I have to say congratulations to Opper on that training series victory. See if and 12teen says, Opper always beats me by 2 games now. Hard. He's teasing me. And Wolf says he's doing it on purpose. But I think Opper's off. He's probably off to bed. It's late. Or he's off to bed very soon. The games at the end especially were quite insane. Lone Wolf says he's doing it on purpose to show he's better, but humbly better. And 12teen says exactly. Okay, new strategy. Build early lead and quit. Only way to win. Okay, but there was one really beautiful game. And it's going to be hard, I think, to see it. So their Opper was black. This one Opper was white. And one, I was trying to, how do I see this one? Black. They played about 42 games, so yeah, it's going to be hard to pinpoint this exact game, but there was one incredible game where the D file opened up. Yeah, 42 games actually, and only the last 20 are showing in the crossbar, so that's not going to show very easily. And I forgot to bookmark it, so hard to find it. So I'd say Opper was black in this game, and was it this one? Almost 55 minutes ago. It was this one. Yeah, I'm going to start this game. I say this is like... there was a period at the beginning of this match where Opper was really having a really hard time. Oh yes, I just got a message from Astane because he saw my stream. Yeah, because I did a stream on Astane's on an endgame in one of Astane's simuls. And it was a very fascinating endgame. I did almost a 2-hour stream just studying that endgame with 10 key positions in that endgame. So he's saying cheers for the effort. Lots of interesting and difficult ideas that I was not aware of, a bit surprised by. Although, of course, yeah, he was just trying to survive the simul and probably beat whoever it was. Keep grinding on the streaming front and catch you to stream in the future, I'm sure. Cool. So yeah, glad you enjoyed it, Astane. This game, I want to just look at this game. So Jasugi was always winning this game, and it was almost perfectly played, in fact, by both players. Just if I go learn from your mistakes, knight e5 was played, and it wants this, but it turns out knight e5 is kind of theory, so that's interesting. e6 was played, and it wants g6. I mean, okay, seems similar. d6 was played, which seems fine, and it wants, yeah, interesting. It wants a fortress. And bishop d7 was played, and it thinks again. That's okay. So it basically says if you play like this, you need to really secure up your dark squares, which did make sense later on in the game. Bishop d5 was played. It wants this. This is just, you must get rid of this somehow, and maybe probably then put g7. If you said review white mistakes, just back off. Castle. And this is the idea he. But anyway, let's look at the actual game. Rook h1 is good. Let's turn off review mistakes and flip the board back. I thought this was a fascinating game, just from a human perspective. So bishop e7, and this is opening theory, and the knight hits g7. If I turn on the opening explorer, this has been played many times. Bishop f6 is the most common move, and bishop f8 is the second most common move. So he goes for bishop f8. And the best move, that's what the engine was just saying right now, is actually just to withdraw the bishop. But he went for slightly more aggressive h6, takes, knight takes at g7. And in fact, we can see about 7 games being played in this line, and a lot of them were just Jasugi against Opper just now, basically. It's even been played by the Lone Wolf against Flourish, though, and also by Opper as white against Jan Li. So bishop here, takes, knight c3, and at e6. So you tried at e6, you tried at c6, and it's saying probably here is better. I guess e6 blocks off the bishop in the longer term, so that's why it might be a reason why it's slightly worse. Knight g3, and let's turn off the explorer because we are in new territory here. This is just tried out exactly in these games. I mean, what we learn is that probably in future games, maybe e6 is not the best move. Maybe at g6. I don't know, it quite likes g6 as well. So at e6, at g6, or d6, lots of options. But the particular end, yeah, it could be analysed in great detail. But there are lots of options for black. So in a way, this is quite a good line for black to play to get out of opening theory because there are plenty of options. But there are problems on these dark squares which need fixing. So at g6, so he plays at g6 next anyway. And knight e7, and actually what makes this game particularly interesting, he plays d6 then. This is where the engine just wanted g7 and just like curl up into a ball. What I found fascinating about this game, okay, e5 was just very natural. White's making progress into the dark squares, but it's got a real nice advantage in this position. So there are probably many ways of finishing this game off in a way. But after rook g8, I think the way that white chose was very pretty. Recognizing the king after rook g8 is kind of stuck in the center. And although there's so many pieces in the center, he's just going to blow open this d file. f5. It's a good move. Rook a to e1. Takes. Bishop at d5. So again, the engine is preferring bishop at h4, but not clear. Yes, bishop at h4 and clear the weakness. So h5 is not recognizing that the problem for black is really on these dark squares. So he was going for this first, probably to undermine the knight, and then hoping the queen will do the job, as it were. But the problem is white's got bishops, so it seems a reasonable strategy. If we can just move this knight, we can then take here. But okay, let's see what happens. Takes, and bishop. And he takes the knight, which that was the whole strategy. Takes, king takes, and bishop d4. And the problem is, this is the dark square weaknesses are the actual problem. So that's why at g7 earlier was wise, and so on. And notice how this is gradually opening up. Backs off the bishop, which is maybe a slight mistake. And the engine says checkmate is now unavoidable with the move in probably that he played. Queen takes e6. Was there any other move here? There's also bishop f6. King takes f6, and then queen takes. Bishop takes, rook takes, king takes. So we get back to this position. But what happened in the game was this. Takes. And here, check. Okay, so let's actually look at that variation with bishop f6 first. Bishop f6, king takes, queen takes, bishop takes, rook takes, king takes. So white has got a pawn, a knight, a bishop, and a queen, and he's trying to make this king. And the problem is these two squares are weak, so a knight can land on d4, and maybe a queen here. King backs off. Queen lands on e6. So these two squares are weak. Maybe a pawn lands here. Let's see. So whichever way we go, we could go bishop here, king e8, and just back off. And what do I do? Not much I can do. If you try and run this way, this is checkmate. If you go here, same strategy. Here, here, and then here. Check. So that was the mate. But we saw a different variation of the same thing with queen takes e6 first, then here, queen takes rook, and then the bishop comes in, and the rook comes in, and rook takes pawn, and queen takes knight, checkmate. Okay, so the point is it all blasts through. All these pieces blast through. You didn't need to sack to get it to work. But it was quite interesting. I think from this stage here, rook g8, queen e2. Not that many players would think queen e2, let's blast open the e-file. But 12-teen is already planning this in this position. So the engine might find all kinds of better moves, but I just like the foresight of, well, rook g8 means your king is going to be stuck in the center, so we're going to just blast through the center. And then, so this sequence of moves I think is really pretty. Queen e2, sacks a piece, and gradually moves his pieces out of the way and blasts his way through. Okay, so very nice games from Jasugi99, opperwezen. Any last words from either player? I think opperwezen has gone to bed. And 12-teen is impressed by Opper's play. So cool. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's see the chat. Nobody really. That was a cool game. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I did take a long time just waffling about that game. It is just a bullet game, but I don't know. It's quite pretty. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the live action and then just this quick analysis of this one game that I thought was quite cool. And see you next time. Bye everyone. I might